Hey, it was good. So these are my thoughts on Adrien, the problem Broner. There's been a lot of good videos out there made on Adrien Broner in the last few days since he lost. I just finished watching a video, the live boxing chat of Andrew Sr. and Jay Dill. So that was a good video, and some other channels have gone in on on Adrien Broner. So I may share a lot of their sentiments. So I may be saying some of the same things that they're saying, but I will also try to contribute something new to this discussion on Adrien Broner's career. I'm all his hate he's receiving. I'm not gonna say it's not deserved, dude, because he deserves it because of all the stuff he talks, and all these claims that he's a great fighter, and all, not just by him, but a lot of people who are knowledgeable about the sport who picked him as well, based on what, I don't know, because he got his butt kicked against Marcos Maidana, and then he has looked horrible since. He's looked horrible. He beat Carlos Molina. He looked awful. Couldn't get him out of there. He beat Emmanuel Taylor, but that was a close fight. And Emmanuel Taylor had already lost to Chris Algieri. And of course, this fight with Sean Porter. And the thing is, like, Adrien Broner is so good. He has natural talent. He has fast hands, fast feet. He could duck punches. But he doesn't do it. He wants to be Floyd Mayweather so bad in every sense that he doesn't live up to his full potential. Mayweather, of course, he's learned from the history of boxing, and he's learned from his father, and he's been boxing since he was like born, basically. He was born with a boxing glove in his crib and all that. But he doesn't emulate anybody's style. He makes his own style. That's what the great fighters have done. Of course, they bring in stuff from the past, but they have their own style. But Adrien Broner wants to be Floyd Mayweather so bad. Like, he could crack. Maidana said he hit harder than Floyd Mayweather, but he doesn't let his hands go because he wants to fight like Floyd, because Floyd Mayweather pop shots everybody, and he wants to do that. You think you're gonna keep a guy off like Sean Porter off with one punch, with one left hook, man? You dropped him, but that's all you did in the freaking fight, man. You can't. You need to throw combos. You need to throw hard shots and get out of the way, not just clinch. You should have got disqualified in that fight. He's a dirty fighter. He's not as good as Floyd at emulating the shoulder roll, man. And maybe I didn't share some of you guys' sentiments on, Adrien Broner's so good, because the first time I saw Broner fight was on I think it was the Canelo Hatton fight, the Matthew Hatton fight, where on the undercard where Broner fought Ponce de Leon, in which I thought he lost. I was like, dude, what's all the hype behind Adrien Broner? I already knew he's a clown because his dad was combing his hair. I was like, okay, guy. this is the guy that's supposed to replace Floyd Mayweather. This guy right here. Look at this picture, man. What a clown. I always say that Adrien Broner's a clown, but you could be a clown. It's okay. Do whatever you want out of the ring, man. Make your sex video, your sex tapes and all that. But the more extracurricular stuff that we hear, that means that's the less time that you're putting into training. I mean, you just had a DUI like a month ago or 2 months ago. Well, that's not a good look. 78 says that he's heard a bunch of other stuff from the camp that that he's been messing up. I would love to hear it. What Adrien Broner been up to, man? Like, even worse than stuff that we've heard. I would like to know, but you know, it is what it is. But he wants that rich man's lifestyle. He wants to be rich. He wants to flash. He wants to wear those grills and these flashy outfits. But he doesn't want to put in work. I think he wants just to be a full-time rapper. But he's using boxing as a catapult for that. And I say, Broner, don't quit boxing for rapping, because no one who has never watched you fight or is not a huge fan of you, of your fights, is going to buy that album. No one. And Broner was never that good. He was never that good. All these fools are like, he's going to be pound for pound one day. I'm like, I just can't see that. I just can't see that. Look at his fight with Frankie Gavin. He was losing every single round. He just had that big size advantage. I think that was his last fight at lightweight. He had a huge size advantage at lightweight, sort of like a Shane Mosley did, but Shane Mosley got the goods, and he got the worth ethic. Things wrong with Broner. Just in the ring, he's not active enough. He doesn't move his feet enough. He ties too much. He's a dirty fighter. He's kind of lazy. He complains a lot. He tried to get Maidana disqualified by rolling around on the floor when he got headbutt. Why did Maidana headbutt you? Not making excuses for Maidana, but why did Maidana headbutt Adrien Broner? Because he was tying up. He had both of his arms tied up. That's why Maidana headbutt you. You don't do that with the tough Argentinian. He almost kicked Mayweather. You just don't do that with Marcos Maidana. But yeah, what fight was everybody watching that was like, yeah, Adrien Broner's hot shit. Like, he's gonna murder Sean Porter. That's easy work. What fight? Is it the John Molina? Slow John Molina, who got knocked out the first round by Antonio DeMarco? What fight was everybody watching that said Adrien Broner's got the goods, man? He's gonna be a future legend. What is it? It's just his talk. His mouth has got him far, and that's all good. It's all well and dandy. But don't you tell me that this guy's gonna replace Mayweather, or that he could still be a pound for pound guy. Sure, he might win an alphabet strap, because I think he is a good fighter. I'm gonna go in on that a little bit later, because I do not think he's a bum. But right now I'm saying why he was never that good. He probably lost against Paulie Malignaggi. I think I scored that a draw. But if Malignaggi had any kind of power, he would have lost easily. And look what Porter did to Malignaggi, man. Broner, he could have been a very good fighter, but he just chose not to train, and he chooses to do the very least to win. He's cool with winning 7-5 rounds, as opposed to Mayweather, who loves to dominate. Even though if you say Mayweather just does enough to win, Mayweather dominates his opponents. He makes them look foolish. Broner doesn't care if he wins 7-5. Broner doesn't even care if he loses. Broner lost. He's like, yeah, I'm cool, but a lot of fighters, man, you should be upset as hell, man. You didn't even seem sad, and you went out partying, man. You should go back to the drawing board, see what's going on. You should have rewatched that fight 3 or 4 times that night. Shame on you, Broner. Shame on you. And a lot of you guys been making very good videos out there. I just want to throw that out there once again. But Broner's not done, guys. Broner's not done. This is just another loss. Like Ghetto Superstar says, I need to give a shout out to my boy. Fire made another new video. It's like, man, these new fans, they want to go in on a fighter just because he has a few losses or because he takes a couple hits, man. I wonder if you look back in the day, like how you guys would talk about like Smoking Joe Frazier just because he doesn't stick and move all the time, man. Would you be shitting on him just because he got hit a few times by by Muhammad Ali, or you want to say he's not an ATG just because he got knocked out by a prime George Foreman? I don't know. Oh, and you're the same people that love Arturo Gatti, huh? You're the same type of people. I know this. I know, but you're gonna shit all over Sean Porter just because he gets hit, just because he comes in with his. Yeah, he is lacking defense, but it is. There's no perfect fighter. Even Floyd gets hit, man. You want to say a fighter's done just because he got a few hard losses, just because Porter lost to Brook, he's done. No, that's not true. Man, Zeb Judah got a bunch of different paydays, man. And here's where the comparisons stop with Zeb Judah and Broner. That's it. He had multiple losses. He didn't live up to his full potential. But Zeb Judah, Zeb Judah went all in, man. Yes, he quit in his fights, but man, if he talked, he would back it up, man. He would back it up, especially in the ring. He never fought scared like Adrien Broner. Man, when he lost to to Costa, started throwing the stool around, started wanting to fight everybody. I think he punched Leonard Ellerby when in the riot against Floyd Mayweather. Broner would have been scared shitless if that happened in one of his fights. You guys are right, man. He's scared. He's a scared fighter that just loves to talk and talk and talk to try to intimidate his opponents. But no one's intimidated by Broner, man. If you're not intimidated by Broner, you got it. You got the win. That being said, Broner is not a bum. He's a 3-time world champion, and I have a whole series of this in my channel. It's called Underappreciated Channels. And so just because some of these guys have a few losses, just because they're not Hall of Famers, people call them bums or people don't remember them. And that's garbage, guys. That's garbage. Just because he lost to Porter, he's going to be a future gatekeeper? I think only straight up contenders or former world champions and very good fighters beat Adrien Broner. And none of them are going to have an easy time. Unless Keith Thurman is able to get him out of there like the first few rounds. And I don't really see that happening because Broner does have heart and he does have a good chin. You see that in both of his losses. If he didn't have a good chin or heart, Maidana would have got him out of there. Porter would have got him out of there. But no, he actually dropped Porter in the last round, which tells me that he carries his power into the later rounds. Oh, he just needs to get his stuff straight. Well, maybe Broner isn't meant to be a great fighter, and that's okay. But that does not make him a bum, and he's an exciting fighter in the ring. Maybe his fight with Porter wasn't that good because of the styles. It was very sloppy. When Broner not tying up, he's an exciting fighter. That's it. You just gotta stop tying up. He needs to get a disqualification. Maybe get disqualified so he could stop doing that. But yeah, by no means is Broner a bum. He's got a good record and he's lost to very good fighters. By saying Broner's a bum, you're diminishing the wins by Marcos Maidana and Sean Porter. Yes, I've said that. I don't know what people were looking at with Broner by saying that he beats all these guys. And he might be the underdog now in all these fights, and rightly so, because I look at his fights, I don't look at his outside activity, I don't look at what he says, I look at how he fights and how much he gets hit. He gets hit much too often. Much too often, man. He does need a better trainer, but most of all, he needs to change his lifestyle. He needs to change his lifestyle. Not only if he just wants to be a great fighter, but so you don't get brain damage. So you don't get hurt in the ring, man. You need to train harder. And maybe fight at welterweight so you're not draining yourself to make weight. But then you won't have that size advantage of that horse that he's enjoyed his whole career. Because he was a monster at 130 and at 135. His beating of DeMarco was it was savage. It was a savage beatdown. But all these guys beat him now. But Keith Thurman beats a lot of guys. Barthélemy beats a lot of guys. I feel the same way about Danny Garcia. I think he's an average fighter. Yes, he beat Lucas Matisse, and I'll give him that. But I feel he's an average fighter, and I don't understand the hype. Does it mean he's a bad fighter? No. I just don't think he's one of the top 10 pound for pound, and I don't see him being a force at welterweight either. Danny Garcia is going to get his ass kicked one day. Probably Marcos Maidana or Ruslan Provarnikov or something. I even favor Matisse against him. But he's going to get his ass kicked. Probably come back down to 140 like Adrien Broner. What's next for Adrien Broner? You know, some of you guys said sky's the limit for him before. I don't believe that anymore. He could win a few belts. He probably will win a few belts in the future. He'll probably get a strap at 140. But who are the champions at 140? Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Postol versus Matisse are gonna fight. He doesn't beat any of those guys. But on an off night, he could beat any of those guys. On an off night, he might be able to beat Danny Garcia. But we'll have to wait and see, man. Broner's an enigma. Broner's an enigma. And say what you want about him. I like the guy and I want to root for him. He's just like Chavez. I want to root for Broner because he's so good. And he talks so much. He's so good at promoting. I like a guy that could talk because that gives interest to their fight. Whether I want you to win or not. I made a video about Mayorga, how I used to love the way he would talk his shit in the pre-fight. So I got no problem with the guy talking. But you gotta fight like you talk, man. Or at least you gotta dominate the other guy or win. Or fight like you want to win. You fought like you didn't even train. Yeah. Broner. Damn. There's probably more I could say about Broner, but we'll just have to wait and see what goes on, man. I hope Al Heyman doesn't fully give up on Broner, because he got some skills and he might still have a decent future and could make some paydays, man. Oh, one more thing. Problem is, man, this guy's making millions of dollars when there's other guys who deserve as good of a payday, and they're just not. They're just not the guy that's marketable, like Mauricio Herrera. He's losing every close fight he gets. Some of those guys deserve as good of a payday as a Broner got today. He got like 1.6 or something like that. He got paid more than Broner. All right. I'm done, guys. Please subscribe. Peace.